"Lord, if it's you," Peter answered him, command me to come to you on the water." Hey, you've commanded me to get in the boat. If that's you, command me to come out onto the water. And he said, "Come." And climbing out of the boat, Peter started walking on the water and came towards Jesus. Now, I don't know, I have a creative mind here, but I just wonder what that first step was like. Like, Peter's rocking in the boat, and Jesus is like, "Come out." And can you just imagine that first step? What? I mean, that was a big act of faith right there. That was a huge act of faith. And then he puts that other one. That's huge. Peter was a fisherman. He knew that people don't stand on water. That was a huge, huge step of faith. And look, we all know how the story ends, but I got to give Peter some credit here. He exercised tremendous faith, and here's the reality. There are only two people who have ever walked on water. Peter and Jesus. Ever thought about that? And I can imagine for years to come when they would be sitting around the campfire, and Thomas would be like, "Man, you should have seen what happened today. It was great." And then Thaddeus is like, "Man, you should have seen what God was doing today." And Peter's like, "Well, you think that's something?" And everybody's like, "Oh, it's the walking on the water thing again." I'm sure he told that story 1,000 times, and he had every right to. Because only two people ever walked on water, Peter and Jesus.